Hey y'all, this is Armintha with Gun Gals. Welcome to another great episode tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about adjusting to living in the country. We're hoping that Jessie will join us here shortly because we knew this was going to be a real interesting topic, including her. Before we get too far in, I want to say hey to Stacey, who's with us on the panel tonight. Hey.
Hello, how's everybody tonight?
Including her. Before we get...
Sorry.
That was me. We definitely want to welcome our new joiners in the chat tonight. Looks like Seven Wonders and Dawn Hoover is out there too. Of course, we also want to say hey to our regulars. Gun Websites is out there, and Ozzy Osbourne. And of course, there's the Gun Snob. So we want to say thank you to our Patreon supporters out there. It is a really big deal that you guys support us in what we're doing. Thank you to Angry Haycutter, Tina is Liberty Cat, Ghost Tactical, Clover Tack, Georgia Trucker, and the Gun Snob. For those of you that don't know, again, my name's Armintha, and Stacey and I, actually all of us that are part of Gun Gals, we are wives to YouTube creators. All of our husbands have their own channels out there. So that's kind of how we got started. We love to welcome new women on our panel. If there's any women out there that would like to join us, you can shoot us an email at info@gun-gals.com. and let us know you'd like to join in our chat, and we'll send you a link. We'd love to have y'all. Okay, so getting started with this awesome topic tonight. Stacey, how long have you grew up in a city, right?
A bunch of small little towns when I was in California. For the most part, they've all been fairly good sized, towns. Even when I moved here to Oklahoma, it's been, at least towns to small, to even bigger towns, but somewhat in town. It's not been out in the country. It's been mostly towns. So, yeah, relatively sane. For the most part, yeah, I've lived in towns.
So, did you grow up living inside the city limits or outside?
Inside.
Oh, wow.
For the most part, we lived in the country, but geez, I was literally probably 3-4 years old. I barely remember any of it. For the most part, I lived in town. When I was in elementary school, I could literally walk a couple blocks to my school. So yeah, they've all been, even if it's just a small community of, 1,000 people, it's been somewhat in city limits.
1,000 people. Wow. I don't think there's 1,000 people in the little community that we live in. I would be willing to bet that there are more people housed in the prison that I work in than that are in the little community that I live in. Because you can't even call it a town. You can't really call it. It's definitely not a city. And we don't have city limit signs or anything like that. There's just a little bitty sign that has the name of our town on it, and that's it. So, yeah, wow. We're 12 miles from one town and 15 miles from the other. Well, and 20 miles from another. So we're kind of like in the middle of three. But wow. I actually looked some of these numbers up because where we live in Texas. My husband and I do. The county that we live in, there's approximately 52,000 people in the county. The little town or city, I guess, that our kids went to school in, there's only there's a little over 6,000 people there. It's not very big either. You think about that. But I grew up in an even smaller town or city, where my graduating class would have only had like 25 kids. And then I actually ended up marrying my husband, and we moved out to where we live now, but had to commute into town for school, where I graduated with like 125. So it was a culture shock. And for us living in a small town, going to an even smaller community was a big adjustment for us. However, we've been in the country now for 24 plus years. So it's been just a little while. Absolutely no, I am not Matt's wife. I belong to Clovertack. They actually live in a big town or a big city. Uh, Matt and his family does. We do not live in a big community at all. So, but we do love living in Texas. I have to say that. So, before I start with our list, what are some of the adjustments that you had to go through moving out into the country as opposed to living within the city limits?
A lot of it's been the commute to school. We're 9 miles from where the kids go to school at. So when I first moved out here, and stuff, some of our kids were still in preschool, and you can't ride the bus if you're in preschool. So it was driving 9 miles in the town, 9 miles back. I mean, every day. Plus, anytime you need to go to the store for anything or you need anything, you have to go at least 9 miles for anything. And to go to even a bigger town than what is Chelsea, it's 15 to 30 miles. So even to get grocery stores, you can't have stuff delivered, which was the biggest thing for me because I always had stuff delivered. So
I wouldn't know what to do if there were things delivered to my house outside of Amazon, Amazon Prime or whatever. Yeah, if it doesn't come through the mail, it being delivered, no. I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. So anytime we want pizza or anything like that, it's usually me because it's never my husband going to pick up pizza. It's always me going to pick up pizza. But,
trying to think. Yeah, I get it. What was it? Friday night, I guess. My husband was on somebody's chat Friday night, and he comes in and he's like, I want Taco Bell. You want to ride out to Taco Bell? Which actually means, do you want to drive me out to Taco Bell? Because I can't eat anything from Taco Bell. And you're looking at him and you're thinking, are you high or something? Which he's really not. But, these thoughts go through your brain like, you really want to drive 12 plus miles into town just for Taco Bell and then drive home?
See, my husband's the opposite. My husband would be like, Jiffy Mart has a deli and there's a Subway 9 miles away in Chelsea in our town. So he'd be, well, why don't you run into town? I'll order some food from Jiffy Mart and you can go pick it up. It's never him go with me. It's always me go pick it up and bring it to him. Or go to the store and, get so-and-so for dinner. It's never him go to the store. He hates to go to the store. It's always, why don't you run by the store, grab some food? So, I get up, make the 9 mile trip into town, and 9 mile trip back home.
Well, and that's within our list. We can go ahead and start breaking it down. As far as shopping, do you try to? Well, I mean, you make multiple trips because you carry your kids into school and pick them up, right? Your kids don't ride a bus.
Most times they do ride a bus. There are a few times I'll take them into school, but I make, at least one trip into town a day because we have cheer practice, and on Wednesdays, they have church, for a couple of them that stay in town and go to church. Mm-hmm. Basketball games, football games. So, there's times I make multiple trips. So I go to town sometimes 2-3 times a day, maybe once a day, but usually at least twice.
Wow. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Seriously,
At least,
today,
yeah.
today, today, I have not gotten out of my pajamas at all. Like, seriously, I'm going to shower here in a little bit. I will go from one pair of pajamas to another pair because I'll have to go to work in the morning.
Hang on.
But but now that our kids are grown, especially, I don't know that we don't just up and run to town a lot. I mean, it happens here and there, but I typically, if I need to go to town, I go ahead and I I'm a list maker. I want to be mentally prepared for what I'm doing. I want to know where I'm going, why I'm going, and where all I need to stop. I've usually got a list and I go through it because I don't want to be in town forever, and I don't want to have to make trips back because typically if I forget something, it's just forgotten. It I will not make a special trip back to town for that. It will wait days before I go back.
Usually, if I make a list, it's usually sitting at home on the notepad while I'm at the store because I always forget it. I'm horrible about lists. And that's if I do make a list. Um, I usually just go and try and remember everything, and I usually always forget something or always get the wrong thing. So,
Well, here lately, on my days off, my husband likes to go to town. We go to town together at least once a week, and we shop so unbelievably different that it's crazy. So if there's something specific I need, I have to make a list, and there's none of this let's go and just look around thing like I like to do every now and then. And I was laughing because last Monday I went to town for the first time by myself, I think, in almost a month. And it was really nice. I love my husband, y'all, don't get me wrong. But it's nice to just have that time where I can go and look and explore because they put new things out and I want to see. And he's all like right there. He's like, "Let's go." Okay. What else is on your list? Okay, let's get it. Let's go. I'm like, slow down. It's okay. Let's look. So,
yeah.
one of the things with living for us, I guess not as much for you because you go into town more. Even when I get off work, if I have to run by the grocery store or anything, I mean, it's a quick trip there and back. I mean, I'm home usually within 30 minutes or so of me getting off work. Um, because I mean, it takes me it takes me about 12 to 15 minutes to get to work, which is nice. But um, yeah, when I get off work, I don't want to hang out in town. So one of the things that we do anyway, and we did it more when our kids were at home, was shopping in bulk. Um, there are just certain things that you buy more of, so that you've always got something, or there are staple items that you make sure that you have at your house. That way, there's always a meal prep of some sort. Even though I may not have a written meal prepared, I may have in the back of my head, like, okay, we have to keep, and this may sound silly to some of y'all, but our youngest daughter absolutely loves pinto beans with sausage. Pinto beans is a staple at our house. We have to keep it. Uh, Clover and I don't eat those much without our kids home, but those are things that we have to keep. There's always, always, always going to be the stuff to be able to make pancakes. Who doesn't like breakfast for dinner, right? Pancakes, and if you've got any kind of meat, be spam or uh, weenies or what am I thinking? Bologna or sausage or whatever. You know, shoot, some kind of meat and some pancakes, and you've got a meal right there. That is something super simple. Do y'all do
Yeah.
stuff like that too?
Has sometimes, like, we'll have, you know, usually stuff in the freezer or stuff that we can have a little bit of a stock up on, but it's usually always end up being what are we in the mood for that day? Because of course, I'm going to the store. The main time we probably really ever buy maybe more than just a meal or two at a time is when we know bad weather's coming in. Um, because usually it's harder to get out if you're going to have snow coming in or a lot of snow coming in. So, but usually it's just planning day by day because, like I said, I'm usually in town every day anyways.
Oh, wow. Well, and my husband mentioned something out there too. So if there's something that he really likes, I go ahead and I cook a whole bunch of it. And then I do what we call freezer meals. Like we'll divide it up into meal size servings for one, and we'll freeze them. I'm pretty sure right now we've got at least, and I say that, I think there's some cheese enchiladas in there. I know there's some pizza in there, and I want to say that there's bound to be some rice and chicken in there. So those are things that we definitely do for us. Um, Something that I guess you don't deal with as much either. If you're cooking and it calls for a certain recipe, or your recipe calls for something very specific in it, what do you do if you don't have it?
Um, Usually if we're going to be planning on cooking a certain thing and we don't have it, it's usually I go into town and get it, or if my husband's not home from work yet, I'll tell him to stop off and get it, which, he whines about it, but he usually will stop and get it if it's something we need. But usually I just run in town and get it.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. I I have learned. I have recipes that call for buttermilk, and buttermilk is not something that we keep at our house. But um, there are alternatives that you can do. And I mean, Google is amazing at finding things like that. Even Pinterest, you can find alternatives to stuff like that. I've gotten to where that has been an issue with me enough that I actually bought powdered buttermilk. And something else I keep at my house, I keep powdered milk at my house. I also keep canned milk because if I'm cooking and something calls for milk, it's just Clover and I, and so milk is not. He drinks it more. I mean, I don't drink milk almost never. Um, if it's not heavy whipping cream or half and half that goes in my coffee, I'm not touching regular milk. It's got a weird aftertaste. I'm just not about that. And so, um, but even if you do something as simple as hamburger helper, most of them call for milk. One of the things I've learned is I keep canned milk. It's super easy and simple, and it's not something that I have to worry about going bad. So it helps us. So we've learned little things over the years to do like that just help us with our meals and stuff like that to get through that because we have a little store here. Anything you buy from there, I can promise you,
Where's
the
your
handful
friend?
of things that they have is priced
Yeah, but
twice
I see
as
your friend.
expensive. Is priced twice the price of what you would get it in town.
What do you think you're
And
doing? Oh,
and so yeah, we've just learned to adjust to a lot of that. Um, they were talking about chocolate chips out there, Mr. NHF. Chocolate chips at our house, we have some in the freezer. That is one of those things that we do. We find stuff like that and they go in the freezer. Chocolate chips in the freezer stay good for a long, long time. And our youngest daughter loves chocolate chip pancakes and she calls them celebration pancakes. So we definitely have them. No, Clover doesn't eat them, but we do have them. So, um, let's see. Um, peace and quiet. It's not really peaceful and quiet, is or you don't have peace and quiet so much at your house, do you, Stacey?
no, not really. Between 4 kids and a husband, no, I don't have peace and quiet unless they are at school and they are at work. Then I might have a little bit of peace and quiet, but like over the weekend, I didn't have any kids here. My husband went to go ride with his friend. And so I did have some peace and quiet, and it was really nice. But on a typical day, usually once they get home from school and work, yeah, it's not very quiet.
See, we just have the one little dog, and it's just Clover and I. And so we live right on the highway, yet we live in the country. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, right? But the way the trees and stuff are grown up around our house and stuff, we actually have a lot of peace and quiet, believe it or not. Sometimes too much. um, I mean, it's really nice though. I mean, I like it. Um, but that's something that we get to deal with a lot. Let's see. So, with all your kids, you don't really feel like living in the country is like a slower pace for you, really, do you?
No, not really. I mean, it's a little bit more driving and stuff like that, but it's not really that much slower pace because I usually have a lot going on between kids and activities, and we have two of them that do sports, and so no, it's still pretty high pace, but I mean, it is what it is.
I get it. I really do. So, living in the country, let's see, because I already know the answer to this. There are definite pitfalls to living down dirt roads in the country that just beat your car to just beat them up, really. So, how do you deal with that?
Deal with what? I'm sorry.
Dealing with dirt roads, county dirt roads, or even dirt road driveways.
They suck.
They suck.
Okay, well,
short and sweet, they suck.
They do. All right, where you stayed at in Claremore, that's part of Rogers County, and then I live a county north of that, which is Craig County, which is a lot more farm country. So almost every single county road is going to be dirt road, gravel. I live 4 miles into that county, so I have 4 miles of road. They're horrible roads. I usually have to we keep 10-ply tires on our vehicles because we were getting so many flat tires. My husband even went and bought a tire machine so we can patch our own tires and stuff, because it's fairly often go down a dirt road, any length of miles or 4 miles, you're gonna have flat tires.
Mm-hmm.
And you see my car. My car was so muddy, and on the times that I planned on washing it, for the gun show and stuff, it would be too cold to wash it. So I pretty much stayed with a dirty, mud-covered vehicle all weekend. And that's usually, my car is always dusty. If it rains or when it snows a lot, it pretty much stays mud-covered. So, yeah. My house, usually the dust from the roads and stuff seep in, so it's constantly trying to keep dust off everything. So yeah, it's horrible, and I wish they would pave the roads, but like I said, most of this county is farmland, so they don't get as much taxes. Like Rogers County got a bunch of taxes and stuff that they use to pave the roads. But because we have more farmland in this county, they don't have as many taxes coming in. So, yeah, like I said, it sucks. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it. It completely just sucks.
Yeah, tail lights are important. It's always important to be able to see tail lights. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it's funny because I mean I've been pulled over countless times because there's so much mud on my license plate that they can't see my tag number.
Oh, wow.
Um, my husband's work truck, just a week or two ago, he was, you know, wiping off his number, wiping off his tail lights or his tag just so people could see his tag and get pulled over because they can't see his tag. Um, so yeah, and you know everything's always dusty. Um, anything if we were to bring home anything in the truck, furniture wise, I mean it would have to be covered up good because the dust goes everywhere and it just seeps into everything. Um,
Oh, no, I get it because I have friends. I have friends who live in town and their little driveways are complete concrete or asphalt, whatever. And I drive up with my little yellow car that's dirty. It's always dirty. It will always be dirty.
yeah,
It does not matter. It will always be dirty. So, just compared to them, they're like, "Do you ever wash your car?" And I'm like, "Honestly, no, not really, not anymore." I mean, you can see my taillights though. To be fair,
yeah,
you can see my taillights, and you can see my uh, what am I thinking? My license plate. So I'm good.
yeah. Well, like I said, you see my car at the gun show, and it was literally covered in 3 inches of mud.
Hmm.
So,
So
and
living out in the country, um, and having to drive into town and dealing with dirt roads and other things. Um, do you allow for extra time for travel, or do you hit it like you're like, okay, I can get to town in X number of minutes, and so that's when I'm going to leave to go.
yeah, like if especially if I'm I've been out here long enough to know, you know, besides anything happening on the car, malfunction or tire or anything, but I know how long it takes for me to get from my house to get the kids to school if I'm taking them to school, um, and stuff, or even going to Tulsa. I know how long it's going to take us to get to Tulsa, and if it's going to be um, around when there's going to be a lot of cars, a lot of traffic in Tulsa on a weekday, then I know to, I usually add a little bit of time for that. Um, but now it's really easy to gauge how long it's going to take you to get from point A to point B. Um, and there's usually not too much traffic until you start getting into more like Tulsa. The only thing that's going to slow you down in Claremore is all the stinking trains. But so no, I'm pretty good on that. Right now I'm just looking forward to my kids are all getting to the point soon where they're going to have their license, and I won't have to drive as much once they get their license.
That's always nice.
Yeah, they're going to be my taxi cab because whenever I need something from the store, well, before you come home from school, can you? Yeah, they're going to be
Trust
the ones we
me.
send into town.
Trust me, it will be awesome when they get to where they're driving. Um, I absolutely love sending my kids. Uh, or I did anyway. I love sending them. And one of the really cool things now is our youngest daughter, or even the oldest one, if we've got the grandbabies, I'm all kinds of like, if I need something while she's in town, I will message her, be like, hey, can you pick this up? Like we needed new lights for the Christmas tree. I sent her messages. I was like, hey, this is what I want. Can you do it for me? So
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, we're lucky in the fact of living out here. Like we have his grandma right up the road from us. We have his dad down the road from that, and then his aunt right down the road from that. So the good thing about living out here, though, is, well, especially when the kids were younger and I went to work with Kent for a while, is that we didn't mind the kids being home by themselves because we had so many family close by.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even now, I mean, if we were to go somewhere or whatever, we went Black Friday shopping, and one child was with us, the other one was at my mom's, so the other two were home, and we were literally gone all night. And like I said, we don't worry about it because we have so much family close by. And I mean, there are a lot of things that kind of annoying living in the country, but there's also a lot of good living in the country.
Well, we're gonna kind of switch gears with this just a little bit. Living in the country, of course, comes with um, other obstacles. Is the way I'm gonna put it. Um, and say like wild animals. Do y'all deal with a lot of stuff like that where you are?
Um, we do some. I have 4 dogs, so that usually deters too many things getting close by. I mean, you know, they have came in smelling horribly of skunk, and using everything in the world to give them a bath and make them smell less like a skunk. um, we've done that, and sometimes it's been as many as 3 dogs at once given a bath.
Oh wow!
But um, other than that, we don't have too much of a problem. Usually, our dogs scare most anything else away.
Well, it looks like Jessie has joined us. It's about time, girl. Where have you been?
I am trying to get signal and I am outside in the cold.
I thought they fixed your Wi-Fi.
I thought so too. And my phone
Well,
died, but I got
ah,
41%.
well, for those of you that don't know, this show is going to be more interesting simply because where I've been in the country for 24 plus years now, Jessie has just recently moved to the country and is having to adjust.
Yeah, adjusting is putting it nicely. Um, my cell phone service, it says that the town that we moved to, it has signal, um, but not at this house. And then Wi-Fi says that it works, but not at this house. Sometimes I get lucky and it does, but not all the time.
You sound like you're shivering right now.
A little bit. It's Michigan. it's it's a tad bit chilly.
Oh, bless you, child. Bless you. Okay, so you've had with the new move, you've had issues with cell phone and Wi-Fi. What are some of the other, because we've already been over a lot of them. What are some of the challenges that you're learning to face and how are you kind of dealing with them?
um. Okay, so the biggest challenge is where to go to buy groceries. It's not like I can just walk to a convenience store or a grocery store. There's nothing in walking distance, especially with 2 kids in the cold. The closest Walmart is 17 miles away. um, let's
Now,
see.
now you know how I feel every day.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for all this, y'all. I was not ready. I wasn't ready. I'm used to being able to walk to a store. I'm used to being able to make a quick trip. Um, my quick trip takes me 30 minutes to get there driving and 30 minutes to get back.
Wow.
So,
Plus, you also have not just the country to deal with. Now you have to deal with snow out in the country, which is almost as bad as anything else.
Okay, so a lot of y'all are going to laugh at this because I was so excited for the snow.
I'm only laughing because this really is funny because you're talking another Texas girl right here
Yeah.
who was excited for snow.
I was so excited. I was like a kid in a candy store. I had so many goals and plans and hopes and dreams that have been shattered because Mother Nature needs to freaking turn the temperature up and quit freezing my booty off. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it PG, but seriously, I'm over the snow. Like, it can just go away. Somebody please pack up my stuff and take me back to Texas where it's warmer. Because, yeah.
My husband's over here in the background, over here in the kitchen. I think he's laughing.
Shut up, snob. I will throat punch you.
I was getting ready to say that deserves a throat punch, but I remember the feeling. I grew up in California. I grew up in the valley. It didn't snow. We had to drive to the snow, and I moved to Chicago, and we had a blizzard in November, and it didn't stop snowing all the way, till summer. So I remember, that transition.
Yeah. I'm over it. I need to be on a beach with my sandals and my shorts in a pina colada or margarita or something where the sun is beating down.
Okay, well, if you're going there, you got to take me with.
I will totally take you with me. I want to get out of the snow. It's cold.
And I'm not sure where Dead Horse is, but Gun Website says Dead Horse says he has 2 feet of snow and it's still falling.
Okay, so let me tell you about the snow here. All right. let me just break down this Michigan crap for you. It snowed, and it's not snow. They call that a dusting. It was a lot of snow. It covered my snow boots over the top, where it was like the rubber, and I had the cloth on the sides. Yeah, my feet got cold because apparently those ain't Michigan winter boots. And that ain't snow here. That's called a dusting. Help me get back to Texas. Too much snow. And at 32 degrees, snow will melt, not freeze up, because all the snow that we had melted. And now it's just mud. And now it's like, I don't know, Eskimo degrees right now. And there's no snow, but everything is still melting. It's a little weird here.
Well, the high today here, where I'm at,
I will throat punch you.
65.
Shut up.
It is currently 50 degrees.
You're mean.
And I'm the one dreading the next 2 days at work because the high is only going to be like mid 50s and I have to do a lot of walking outside. Thank goodness there's not snow.
Okay, you know I love you, right?
I know. I know you do. I'm just trying to make sure that you miss me enough that you want to come back to Texas.
I love you, but I don't like you very much right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
She about died here in Oklahoma, and it wasn't even that cold. I mean, it was chilly.
It was windy.
As cold. It wasn't as cold as it
was windy.
I was mad in April when we went to Wanamaker because I literally had to leave my state to go to a state that got some snow while we were there. And for some reason, I had it in my head that snow was going to be a good thing. But Michigan snow is different. You can get like a foot or two of snow, and that's not considered snow up here. That's called a dusting. I'm not ready, y'all. I ain't ready.
You realize it has just barely started. Like, it's not
I
even like started.
I know. I know. It's a little out of my element. This Texas girl is gonna have a harsh adjustment. I'm just letting y'all know. It's not as fun as I thought it was gonna be. And there's horses, so that brings its own little challenge because apparently horses have to be fed multiple times a day, no matter if it's raining or snowing or whatever.
That's how it normally goes with livestock.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that either. And the things that you have to shovel while dealing with horses, I'm not into that. Like, I'm ready to get back to the city. I don't think I signed up for all this.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. And where we moved, we get the lakes effect snow, so it's like more snow than everywhere else. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Okay, so one of the last things that we were talking about right before you joined us was wild animals. How dealing with wild animals living in the country because it's different from living in the city.
Okay, so let me tell you about this. Okay, so the first kind of snow that we had, um, me and the kids had gone out to play because I thought it'd be fun, and we took the dog out there, and there was a big, big cat, and I had never seen something like that in person. It's different when you see it like in pictures and stuff. To it could literally eat you or one of your kids. So, yeah, it's different. Now this mama goes outside, packed and loaded. I don't want to be eaten, and I really don't want to see my kids be eaten by something. And I like the dog, so I got to protect him too. And there's stuff out here that'll eat you. Its paw was about the size of my hand, and that's just a little too big for me.
Hey, just so you know, in case you're not watching the chat, they are feeling really bad for you because they can hear you shivering.
But I love you guys, so I am here. I'm
Well,
late, but I am here.
well, I mean, when I was thinking about this, I really thought about this topic with you specifically in mind because I've adjusted. Um, and some of the things that I was talking about, and you and I've not really talked a lot about that, about different things that I do to help us get through and not have to be running back and forth to town and stuff like that. Um, how long have y'all been out there now at your new place?
Since November 15th.
Okay.
So not too long. But I have learned that when you go to town, you stock up so you don't have to make another trip.
So buying in bulk.
Yes. And there's a Sam's about 3 minutes from the Walmart.
Uh-huh.
So Sam's, Walmart, Aldi, Meijer. Those are my go-to spots. But there is a convenience store that's about 13 minutes away, or yeah, 13 minutes away. So if it's like something really simple that I know that they're going to have and I need it like today and I don't really feel like going to town, I'll stop there and get it. But yeah, most of the time I just buy in bulk. That way I ain't got to make a trip. I don't want to make a trip.
And I can share with you some of the things that I do a little differently too. I can share those with you later. Things that'll help you out quite a bit. I promise.
I love it. Okay, so I did click on the chat, and the first thing I did have to buy is some muck boots. because my snow boots are fur lined and they have like a little bit of fur on the top of them. And I was not taking them pretty things out to the horses. So I bought me some rubber muck boots for the yucky days.
So living in the country and with it snowing and all, you haven't been there that long, so it's not something that you've probably had to deal with yet. So because we live in the country, we've been here for years. If the wind blows, I mean, the sun could be shining actually, and the wind could not be blowing, and we might lose electricity. Have y'all had to deal with any electrical outings or anything yet?
Um, yes, but we have a generator.
Mm.
Um, so it takes like 5 seconds for the electricity to be off, and then it kicks on.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
That was a big thing because there ain't no gas. I mean, like the dryer is gas and the hot water heater is gas, but like heating like a stove or an oven, that's all electricity. My coffee pot takes electricity.
What about you, Stacey?
What was the question?
Dealing with power outages and stuff like that where you live.
Usually if it's really cold, if it's just like a regular storm, we'll usually sleep it off. We have generators. We actually have two, and stuff because my husband uses them for work as well. Most of the houses he goes to doesn't have electric, so if it's cold and stuff, yeah, we will pick up the generators and we run our pellet. We have a pellet stove, so we run that in the cold, and just if it's offering any length of time, everybody be in the living room where the pellet stove is and stuff. So
do
yeah.
y'all live far? Do y'all live far enough out that you have to have butane, or do y'all have natural gas?
Our house is actually all electric.
Oh wow.
If we were to switch things over, it would be propane. And stuff because we're 9 miles from the closest town. But
right.
Eventually, when we get the new house built and done, I like to have it, electric and gas. Get a propane, but right now our house is all electric, so we use the pellet stove a lot, which I love my pellet stove, and stuff, and we have generators. So,
what about you, Jessie? Are y'all natural gas or y'all
propane?
Y'all are propane out there. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool though because I didn't know how that would really work, but apparently with propane, if you buy it early enough in the season, you can lock in a rate, and they come out like twice a year. And so we happened to move right before the spike in price. So we got it locked in at a lower price. I was like, sweet. Because it's a big tank.
Well, who was out there asking? Seven Wonders asked, why do we have frequent outages in Texas? Well, first of all, we live in rural Texas. We live in a rural area, and because of the way the power lines go and the way and I can't remember what they're called, but where they actually have to turn it on at, the way the line that we're on may run for miles, and where they would flip the circuit is before us, but there are several of those circuits before us. Because we live in the country too, though, if there are people out here that require medical equipment or something like that, they would get to them or on that particular line quicker than what they would get with us. And we belong to a co-op. It's a very small co-op. So it's different than TXU, or TXU is the one I can think of at the moment. Um, Encore or whatever. We don't have all of that out here. Sometimes it's just maintenance. Sometimes it could be that the lines run through a row of trees and that a tree fell or something. I mean, it could be just any random thing out here. I can tell you that we learned a long time ago for us that if the lights go out, we do have a generator. We don't use it as much. Thankfully, we don't have to. But butane is a big deal out here because if we do lose power, we will always have hot water. So our water heater is ran on propane. Our stove runs on propane. Our heater itself runs on propane. Now, our dryer, we do not run that. It's electric. But we're able to stay warm. We're able to have hot water, and we're able to cook. So those are big things.
We did go buy some of the little propane space heaters, like for taking out in like a deer stand or something, just in case, because when we first got here, the generator was not acting right. And so we didn't want to risk it. But apparently it works just fine. So I don't have to.
Hello.
Hello, Dawn.
Hello.
Welcome to Gun Gals. Sadly, we only have a few minutes left, but at least you're able to join us today.
Yeah, it's nice. It took me a few minutes to figure it out, but I figured it out.
Well, next time we'll be able to get you in sooner. So
Hello.
So you live in the country too?
No, I live kind of like in the country area, but it's not. It's like an hour away from Seattle. I don't know if anyone knows where Seattle is.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I live like up north, kind of like in the country area.
Okay. Okay. So, so you don't live that far from town, then
No.
You have a grocery store real close by. You have all the wonderful things that we do not anymore.
Yes.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
See, I would say that I am, but I'm really not, because one of the things that bothers me the most about even going and staying at a hotel, like when we were in Claremore, is that it's right there on the road, and all the noise, all the lights, the traffic, it's just so much. I'm used to being where I'm at, and we've gotten to where we take a fan everywhere we go. You would laugh, because when we unpack our car, there's a big wind tunnel fan that goes into the hotel with us. It's just so different dealing with all the city noise.
Yeah, I don't like the city. No.
I will say that I do like living in the country because I have been able to let my pyromaniac side go free. I don't have any firemen coming to the house. I don't have neighbors being nosy. I'm not getting a fine. I get to burn so much stuff here that I've almost become an expert on how to set stuff on fire.
Well, honey,
I do like that.
You're shivering so much right now that I'm wondering why you don't have something burning right now.
Because that means I got to go way out in the field. And that means that the rain that is coming down is going to make me not only cold, but soaked.
Mm-mm.
And that just doesn't even sound like a good time.
No. That sounds like you'd be shivering even if you're around the fire.
Yes. And then I'd smell like smoke.
Mm-mm.
And no, I don't want to smell like a fire pit.
Yeah, I get that. I do. I really do. Okay. Well, we have hit our 10 o'clock hour, and I know that Midnight Range TM has got his chat going, and I know that they are discussing Every Second Matters. So, thank you all for joining us. We're going to run it through the panel, but afterwards, I really do encourage all of you to join everyone over on Midnight's chat. So, we're going to start with Stacey.
Yes, my dear.
We're telling everybody bye.
Bye, everybody. I'm glad everybody got to come, talk to us. I'm sorry. I was getting ready to type in the chat to, picking on user.
That's okay, because y'all already know that I can't do both. I can't sit and host and do the chat at the same time. I get to one or another. So I already apologize if you've heard me back over here mumbling or humming. It's because I was typing. So,
see,
sorry.
And now that unknown user is here, we can end our show. So I'm good with that, just because me and user, we go way back. But
I owe him a throat punch.
You do, and I mentioned that I would, I pick you up and take you to him. So
sweet, as long as it's out of Michigan, I am all for it.
We'll stop. We'll make sure to stop by the beach first, and then we'll go to that and then go back to the beach.
Just not any beaches in Michigan, or any place that's cold. Take me someplace warm, please.
All right, Jessie, you wanna
That sound like I froze. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm sorry I am late. I am having some difficulties. But don't forget to go check out our SpreadShirt. I'm pretty sure Frozen will make an appearance somewhere on there here soon.
We're going to have our Gun Gals logo with icicles hanging off of it.
Yeah, that's me, y'all. I am Frozen.
Right. Okay. Do you have anything coming up this week that you want to share with anybody?
Yes, I am going to be going to town just so I can upload some video.
Oh, the good old joys of living in town. Hey, I've been there and I've done that, so I laugh because, before we got our unlimited back on our phone plan, we were going into town because we didn't have enough upload with our crappy country internet. So, been there, done that.
Yeah, hopefully they will fix it. I think it's like Tuesday. But Troy and I have already talked about finding a different carrier because Verizon works real well for people that we know. T-Mobile don't. It just don't. I was really a very happy customer until I moved here. It sucks.
Well, we're sorry that you had to freeze, but we are so glad that you got to join us for at least a little bit.
I would totally freeze for another hour if I could talk to y'all because I have missed y'all super bunches.
Well, we'll stay on after this, but yeah, I don't know that I will manage to stay up that late. Dawn, we're sorry that you didn't get to join us earlier. I tried sending it. I'm not sure what the hang up there was. So
it's my first time using Hangout, so I hit a button and it said join call, and I was like, okay.
There you go. So we do this once. We do this once a week, every Sunday at 9:00. We welcome other women, especially in the 2A community, to join us. So any of you out there that have wives that would like to join us too, they can send us an email, info@gun-gals.com. That goes to all four of us gun gals, me, Liz, Jess, and Stacey. And one of us would be more than happy to get back with you if that is something that you're wanting to do. So we're sorry you didn't get to join us very much, but we would love to have you again.
Sweet,
and now that I have your email, now that I have your email, I will email you.
Cool.
So, Let's see. Any plugs that I have? Be sure that you like our stuff. Be sure you watch our stuff. Be sure and leave us comments. Let us know if we're doing something right or something wrong. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know that what we're doing is out there and being watched, or if it's something that we need to change. Be sure and let us know. We're open to all of those things. Thank you again, and we are going to call it a night. I don't know about y'all, but I have to go to work in the morning. So, yay me. So, anyone else before I say goodnight?
Did we tell everybody to go check out gunchannels.com?
No, gunchannels.com. That's where it's at.
And we also stream on Gunstreamer.
Yes, we do.
What?
We love Gunstreamer. We do. Which reminds me, I have some stuff I need to post, but I've been a little crazy busy. So my life's been a little weird. But anyway, thank you all so much. And we're gonna scoot on out of here. And like I said, make sure you go over and join Midnight Range TM and see what they're all about tonight. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for joining.